Right, Unit 4, Lesson 16, our objective is to reason about attributes to construct quadrilaterals on square or triangular grids. Because our practice book doesn't have any of these grids, if you want to practice on some, I just went and copied off my own. So I found a triangular grid that has equilateral triangles in different sizes, and then a square grid. Okay, so I've drawn a rhombus, and a rhombus is a quadrilateral. It's a four-sided shape that has at least two parallel lines. In this case, a rhombus is a parallelogram because it has two sets of parallel lines. So I used an equilateral triangle, matched it up with another equilateral triangle to create my rhombus. Then I went a step further and drew a larger one. If you can't see it, there's a hexagon right in the middle. And we know that a hexagon has 6 equilateral triangles, and then to make my rhombus, I put 2 on the outside. So a rhombus is a shape where all sides are the same. That makes it a quadrilateral. It has 2 sets of parallel lines, which makes it a parallelogram. It has acute angles that are the same, so they are equilateral triangles that are creating our shape. It has obtuse angles that are the same. The parallel lines, there's 2 sets making it a parallelogram, but because there's at least 1 set of parallel lines, it is also called a trapezoid. I can make rectangles on my triangular grid, making sure that I have my 90-degree angles. Remember, a square is a special rectangle. I can do the same on a square grid. So a trapezoid, remember, has 1 set of parallel lines, at least 1 set of parallel lines. Here's my rhombus again. You notice that I do not have a rectangle or a square on here, but I could do the same with that as well. A rhombus has my 2 sets of parallel lines. So blue is showing 1 set, orange is showing the other set. All sides measure the same, so I would get my straight edge out, make sure that my lines are exactly the same. The acute angles are going to be the same measurement, and the obtuse angles are going to be the same measurement. Okay, so when you get to your practice book pages, this is what you're going to do. You're going to be using grids to draw our different shapes. Okay, so over here, you need to draw quadrilaterals. Remember, a quadrilateral are 4-sided shapes with at least 2 parallel lines. That doesn't mean it has to have 2 sets of parallel lines. It just has to have 1 set. So for this example, a quadrilateral that has at least 1 pair of parallel lines. Remember, a shape with 1 set of parallel lines is our trapezoid. So you're trying to make a trapezoid in this first one. A quadrilateral that has 4 right angles. Which shapes had 4 right angles? Remember, our rectangles and squares. Those have 4 right angles. And you're using the grids to draw them. Use your straight edge, it will help you. A quadrilateral that has 2 pairs of parallel sides. Again, that could be your rhombus or your parallelogram. And then your last drawing down here, a quadrilateral that has at least 1 pair of perpendicular sides and at least 1 pair of parallel sides. And you're going to have to go back to our very first lessons. Remember, perpendicular sides are those that make the plus sign. So there has to be that right angle when drawing a perpendicular line. And then you're going to turn your page over. You're going to do some additional drawings with your straight edge using our triangular grids. Okay, and then using our different definitions on what makes a rhombus a rhombus. When you're talking about an attribute, you're looking at lines, angles, measurements. What makes an attribute? Explain the attributes that make a square different from a rhombus. So we know that a rhombus and squares look very similar, but what is the difference between the two? So going back to your definitions of what makes a square, what makes a rhombus. All right, good luck, Nighthawks.